Living in near isolation had never bothered Pam. Alaska had been her home for her entire life, and despite its harsh winters and remote location, she found solace in its rugged beauty. Pam's companions in this wild landscape were her two beloved cats, Suitcase and Gizmo. Their presence, along with the tranquility of the surroundings, made her feel content. However, on this particular day, Pam found herself alone at home, and a strange noise had unsettled her. With a mix of curiosity and caution, she stood up and peered out of the window onto her porch. To her relief, the only thing she saw was snow softly descending to the ground. Yet the lingering unease persisted, prompting her to open the porch door and cautiously scan the surroundings. There were no footprints in the fresh snow, and everything seemed undisturbed on her porch and in the yard. Feeling reassured, Pam turned to head back inside when she noticed faint cat prints almost obscured by the falling snow. She realized it must have been left earlier by Gizmo or Suitcase. Pam had intended for them to be indoor cats, but their adventurous spirits often led them to explore the expansive Alaskan wilderness around their cabin. Despite her concerns about the local wildlife posing a threat to her feline companions, Pam understood their need for freedom in such a vast natural playground. Today, however, Pam grew anxious as it was unusual for both cats to be absent for so long, especially with snow beginning to fall. Just as worry began to settle in, she heard a soft tapping sound. Around the corner of the porch appeared Suitcase, who darted inside through the open door. Pam smiled warmly as Suitcase shook off the snow from his paws and retreated into the warmth of the cabin, seeking comfort. It didn't surprise Pam that Suitcase returned alone. He was the more reserved of the pair, preferring the indoor comforts. Gizmo, on the other hand, was sociable and loved observing wildlife from the window when he wasn't exploring outside. Pam couldn't help but wonder where Gizmo might be and hoped he would return safely, knowing that despite their independent spirits, her cats always found their way home. Pam couldn't help but smile as she watched Gizmo grooming himself on the porch chair. His friendliness and social nature always brought joy to her heart, though she couldn't shake a nagging worry that his adventurous spirit might one day lead him into trouble. Yet, time and again, Gizmo had returned safely from his escapades, reassuring Pam that he knew how to take care of himself. Still puzzled by the noise that had initially drawn her outside, Pam dismissed it as Suitcase's paw tapping against the porch on his return. She chuckled at her own overactive imagination, likely fueled by a morning spent absorbed in work. Now, her focus shifted to unraveling the mystery of Gizmo's whereabouts. Calling out Gizmo's name, Pam scanned the yard once more. A movement caught her eye, and she turned to see Gizmo on the porch chair, calmly grooming himself as if he had been there all along. Pam could have sworn she hadn't seen him before, chiding herself for letting her mind wander. Convinced that Gizmo would appreciate the warmth inside after his snowy adventures, Pam called his name again and patted her legs to signal him. But Gizmo remained fixated on something in the yard, oblivious to her calls. Curious, Pam followed his gaze to a nearby tree. There, perched majestically, was a bald eagle. Pam was awestruck by its size and beauty, its brown and white feathers gleaming in the sunlight, and its striking yellow beak and razor-sharp talons gripping the branch. It was a sight she had never expected to witness up close. Her awe quickly turned to concern. What if the eagle decided to swoop down and snatch Gizmo? Despite his brave demeanor, Gizmo was no match for such a formidable predator. Pam's heart raced with worry. The eagle could easily carry him away before she could intervene. Frozen with fear for Gizmo's safety, Pam watched the eagle closely, praying silently that it would not perceive her beloved cat as prey. She knew all too well the dangers that wild animals could pose in their natural habitat, and now she faced the agonizing possibility of witnessing her furry companion being taken by one of Alaska's most majestic yet fearsome creatures. Suddenly, without warning, the majestic bald eagle spread its wings and soared towards Pam's porch. Pam's heart leaped into her throat as she screamed and darted for the safety of her cabin. Yet, to her astonishment, Gizmo remained utterly unfazed, poised in a way that suggested he anticipated what was about to unfold. The eagle gracefully landed on the porch railing, mere inches from Gizmo. As the two animals locked eyes, Pam held her breath, wondering what would happen next. To her amazement, Gizmo calmly leaped up onto the railing and approached the eagle with a quiet confidence. Pam marveled at the sight, her usually adventurous cat now seemingly at ease with a wild eagle. Could it be possible that they knew each other? The way they regarded one another hinted at an unexpected camaraderie. Just when Pam thought the scene couldn't become more surreal, a second bald eagle swooped down and perched beside the first on the railing. Pam suddenly realized that the tapping sound she had heard earlier must have been the eagle's talons against the wood. Had these magnificent birds been searching for Gizmo all along? The mystery of the peculiar noise was solved, yet Pam's mind reeled at the extraordinary tableau unfolding before her eyes. Frozen in awe at the improbable scene playing out on her porch, Pam strained to make sense of the unlikely gathering. She thought she heard a faint rustling, reminiscent of Suitcase's earlier steps on the porch. Little did she expect what happened next. Emerging from around the porch corner, a vibrant red fox appeared. One of the joys of Pam's life in Alaska was encountering wildlife up close, but this encounter surpassed all expectations. Pam remained perfectly still as the fox cautiously sniffed the air, gauging the safety of the situation. Sensing no threat, the fox trotted past Pam and joined Gizmo and the two eagles on the railing. Gizmo greeted the fox with a gentle head nuzzle, emitting a contented purr that resonated with Pam's heart. It was as if Gizmo and the fox were old friends reuniting after a long separation. Pam marveled at the unlikely bond forming before her, a testament to the wild beauty and unexpected connections that defined life in Alaska. Filled with awe and excitement, Pam hurried inside to retrieve her camera. This was a moment that simply had to be captured for posterity. With careful steps, she returned to the porch, relieved to find all the animals still there. The two bald eagles remained perched gracefully on the railing, engaged in mutual grooming, while Gizmo and the fox nestled together, visibly at ease and enjoying each other's company. As Pam quietly clicked her camera, capturing the breathtaking and improbable scene unfolding before her, tears welled up in her eyes. Three distinct species, each with its own unique characteristics and habits, peacefully coexisting on her porch. In the harsh and unforgiving landscape of Alaska, these unlikely friendships had blossomed, defying all expectations. Overwhelmed by the beauty and significance of what she was witnessing, Pam couldn't help but ponder how many other animals Gizmo had befriended in the wild. It was a testament to Gizmo's adventurous spirit and innate ability to forge connections, transcending barriers that often divided species in the natural world.